Can you guys hear me now? Okay, cool. Well, hey Jack, hey Varun, thanks for joining. Well, what I was trying to say was thank God it's Friday. How are you guys doing? And what are you studying today? All right, let's wait for maybe a few minutes and then we can get started. Hey Brian, good morning or afternoon, wherever you guys are. Hey Robin, you are good evening. You're studying Power BI again. Cool. And Duckmeat, doing some A/B testing with Python. Pretty relaxed day. Varun, get the cat. Last time the cat was here, he was very disruptive. So I thought I would leave him at home today. Isn't he just pretty distracting? He's literally just like running around, jumping everywhere. Hey, but if you guys like him, I can always bring him next time. Where's the cat? He's upstairs. He's upstairs. Yeah. This place is usually where I work, and upstairs is where everything else happens. They generally stay upstairs. I do bring them down sometimes to hang out. Duck meat. No, my Pomodoro clock is like dead forever. I think you can see it like in the background, right? It's it's like a relic now, so I just put it there to remember it by. I did order another one though, so hopefully that will come soon. Yeah, you can just look at it how it's like the never ending. How many minutes? 25 minutes. The never ending 25 minutes. I know, so sad. I've had that clock for a really long time now. Maybe like 2 years now I've had that clock. It has been my companion for a very long time. It's okay. It's just gonna sit there, and every time I see it, I will remember the good times that we had together. What drink do I have? This is tea with milk, oat milk. My favorite. English in the mornings, my favorite is English breakfast with oat milk. I was drinking green tea for a few times, but yeah, because I ran out of English breakfast. But I got more, so we're back to that. I'm a creature of habit. What kind of Alex M? What kind of things do you work on in your job? Hey, local Plata. Good morning. What do I work on in my job? So, without going into too much detail, I'm a business aligned data scientist, so I work on trying to figure out what the business strategy should be, what kind of opportunities that we should pursue. I do some modeling of how we are now and just projections. What else do I do? I work with product managers pretty closely, helping them decide things as well. And then I also help run experiments. So I work with engineers. Yeah, that's mostly what I do. duck meat. It's longer than most laptops you've had in the past. Yeah, so I guess like with Pomodoro clocks, or just things that are simpler in general, the simpler something is, the longer it usually lasts, right? That's why those Nokia phones never died. All right. How did mine Mohit, but how did mine die? How did my clock die? I don't know, it just stopped working one day. Has reached its life limit. All right. Shall we get started? 50-minute Pomodoro. Okay, let's do this. All right, let's do it. See you guys in the break. How is it? How is Pomodoro #1? Should I go grab Beep Beep, by the way? Do you guys want to see Beep Beep run around? Oh, thanks everyone new that joined. I'm really glad that you're here. Let's see if I can answer some questions. The Huang and Only. Manish, where am I from? It's a good question. So I don't really know how to answer that. I was in China and then I was in Canada and then now I'm in the US. Let's see. Okay. I'll go grab Beep Beep. All right. Be right back. Give me like 1 minute. I'll go grab him. Hey, Beep Beep. Say hi to everyone. Hi, everyone. He's just sitting on my lap now. He's he's a little sleepy. All right, well, he's gonna be around, running around. Let's see. Yes. I am studying Andrew Ning's course. Information is in the descriptions. I'm on week 3 now. Yeah, just doing logistic regression. Hello, hey Katie. Hey Manny. Oh, see, everybody's saying hi to you. He's he's like just sniffing around. He'll show up. He will show up. Hey Michael. Hey Berku. Anna. Ah, Ontario. Let's see. VR Santosh. After seeing that wooden background, I am able to remember you. You were the person who studied University of Toronto. I've seen your resume. Yep, that would be me. I did my undergrad at U of T where I did pharmacology. I was pre-med, and then I went to go do my master's in computer science in the US. Oh, Yato, Kalista, hey! Glad you guys could make it. Allison and Raj. I'm so happy you guys are here. I did my MCIT in person. Oh, do you guys see him in the background? It's like hanging out now. Raj, have you gone through the material for the Coursera course? For engineering's course? I'm going through it right now. I'm on week 3 now. Jack Hines, how long did your master's in CS take? It took 2 years. Yep, first year was the core classes. So all the CS core classes that is very accelerated and it catches you up to theoretically undergrad level. And then second year was electives. Wilson! You're just here for the cat? Well, oh no, he just left. I guess you can go now. I'm kidding. He'll come back. He'll come back. Hang out with us for a bit. Oh, he's behind a computer now. Allison, thanks for your advice. I actually tried to reach out to my professor for doing research during my graduate study. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, let me know how that goes. Yeah, if you can, doing research with a professor is such a great opportunity. Wilson, no, don't leave. Beep Beep will show up. Is he why all of you guys just joined now? It's like Beep Beep shows up. Now it's time to study. Oh, Raj, you mean have I gone through the trading material that you sent me? Yeah, thanks so much for sending it over. I'm really, really grateful. No, I have not gonna lie. So I'm gonna finish up this ML course and then I'm gonna learn the trading stuff. Yeah, I'll be going, I think I'll live stream that too, probably, depending on if you guys want to watch me study trading material as opposed to data science. But yeah, I'll be going through that after this. No, beep beep. Oh. Your tech guide, you have a third and final interview for DS position in 3 hours. In 3 hours! Wow. Oh, it's non-technical? Really? They have a 3-hour interview that's non-technical. I honestly don't know what they would ask you if it's non-technical. Are they just gonna like talk about your life? I mean, in that case, I guess my tip would just be open, be a person that people want to work with, ask questions, understand what the position is and why you want to go there. I hope so. I hope that works. Yeah, that's pretty interesting to have a final round for 3 hours without any technical stuff. Maybe they'll ask you product questions. If they ask you product questions, probably, yeah, just ask questions, relax, have a conversation. Wilson and Crow. Yeah, trading material, you guys. Are we all interested now? Raj, maybe you can actually post all of that into the Discord channel. It was very thorough. Like I'm very, very grateful for Raj. He sent me like all this different types of material because I mentioned in my last live stream that I wanted to learn how to trade, specifically like options trading, after I finish like learning the machine learning course that I'm doing now. Yep. All right, shall we get started? Second Pomodoro. All right, let's get started. Ooh, Berku. I'll give you guys interview tips afterwards. After we do another Pomodoro, I will be very happy to provide all the interview tips and tricks that I know. So study hard. All right, let's go. We are done. We're done. Oh, Beep Beep says hi. That was a good study session. I got through half of week 3, I think. Yeah, I got through half of week 3. It's good. Beep beep. He's a lap kitten. He just really wants to sit on my lap all the time. How was your study sessions? Is everybody good? Did you get a lot done? Productivity? Okay. I'll hang around for a bit and let's chat. Beep beep. Beep beep. Okay, well, Beep Beep will also hang out here and chat with you guys. Wilson, yes. Beep Beep is a pure black cat. Okay, well, you can look at Beep Beep. Let's answer some questions. Let's see. How do I feel? No, Beep Beep. Bad boy. Bad boy. Okay. How do I feel about data camp? I am currently in the process of doing my research on all of the different resources, like different courses that you guys provided when I made that post asking like what do you guys want me to review. So that video is gonna come out. I'm not sure actually. Yeah, I might. So it's taking me a little longer because I wanted to be pretty thorough about reviewing them. So data camp will be there though, because they're pretty popular. Yeah, sorry for the non-answer right now. I just don't currently have enough information to know how good it is. There are other reviews of data camp though, so maybe check that out. Ali, Code Academy. Yeah, I don't that one I can actually speak for. How do I think about Code Academy? I don't think it's very good in general, because it's not very realistic. The stuff that you do, it's like you can go through their courses and still end up not actually like if I gave you something that you haven't exactly seen through Code Academy, you probably won't know what to do and you'll still be stuck because they don't really teach you how to solve problems. They just teach you like very specific things. So yeah, I would not recommend Code Academy. Yeah, my biggest advice is just still very much like make sure whatever you're doing is a very project-based class because that also teaches you how to solve problems and not just very specific details. You can ask anybody that codes, be a data scientist, a software engineer, like pretty much anyone, they'll tell you that nobody just like sits there and codes, you know, they're always like looking stuff up on Stack Overflow, trying to figure things out by themselves. That is a much like that's a much more useful skill set than just knowing how to code very specific things. Let's see. Dark Star, I'm sorry, I can't really extend the session because I have to go to work. But you're very welcome to join a Discord group. I'm actually live streaming to the Discord group as well when I'm doing these streams. And if you join those sessions, there's going to be other people as well who also want to continue studying. So that could be a good option. I'll also try to drop by throughout the day when I'm working and hang out in the study rooms too. No, yes. Why are you so distracted? I hope it's not beep beep. I hope it's not because he keeps running around. Yeah, and Koshik, Strata Scratch. Yep, you should test Strata Scratch is great. I've been an affiliate for them for a while now. That's a resource that I really wish I had when I was interviewing and teaching myself SQL. Oh yes, purpose. I was gonna give interview tips. I totally forgot. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, interview tips. Okay, let me think. General, okay, I'm doing so I'm not gonna go. Okay, I'm trying to think how do I like put this in a way that's the most helpful. Interview tips in general. During technical interviews, um, whether it be like SQL interviews where it's like data structures or algorithm interviews, always communicate. That is number one. Like literally just talk through everything that you're doing. Even if you're saying, I'm just gonna think about this now. I'm just thinking out loud. Like say stuff like that. And make sure that you repeat the question the way that you understand it to the interviewer multiple times to make sure that you're on the right track. Because with these questions, especially if you're nervous, it's very easy to stray off track. Like we're not exactly answering a question that's being presented, and you might be answering something that's like slightly off. But if you're not communicating with your interviewer, then the interviewer doesn't know that you're doing something wrong until much later. And that by that time, a lot of time probably has passed. So that's not good for you. So yeah, keep talking. Another thing is don't try to find the most optimal solution for something. Always try just to put a solution that works first and then be like, hey, I think I can optimize this even further. And then talk through like the optimization process and start doing these optimizations. Yeah, like if you think too much and be like, what is the most optimal solution I can put on here, then most likely you're just gonna like get nervous or like confuse yourself. So yeah, just get something down on paper first. Another one is, let me think, for technical ones. What else? What other tips do I have for technical interviews? Hmm. I think just that talk through it, talk to your interviewer, don't write the most optimal solution there. I think that might be my biggest tips for that. Yeah. If anybody else has any tips, please drop in the chat as well. And for non-technical interviews, biggest tip is communicate very, very well. Um, like don't be so afraid to show your personality. That's what's going to make you stand out. When I'm talking about like non-technical, I mean like maybe like product or business sense interviews. Check out consulting interviews. That's an excellent structure to follow. The way the step-by-step process is very, very good, and also be very logical about what you're doing. So if someone asks you a question like, hey, like there's something that went wrong in this feature and we're trying to figure out how to solve it, for example, that's a pretty common question for a product interview. Don't like think very thoroughly about it. Like don't just start rambling. Yeah, like be like, okay, to diagnose this problem, we first will consider like this step. And then from here, if this step shows a certain result, then it means, this thing. And if it doesn't, then we will do the next step. And then you just kind of go on from there. Like be very, very structured in your thinking and not just like ramble on. Actually, that also, on a similar vein, I just remembered for technical interviews, you should also be very careful about that. Like, don't just like start typing stuff and be like, oh my God, like I feel really awkward. Just, maybe the interviewer thinks I don't understand and just like start typing things. Never, never, never do that. Think through exactly what it is that you're going to do, write down the steps in English, and then start writing stuff down. Trust me, like it will save you so much more effort and so much more time to figure it out the first time, like understand the logic, as opposed to start typing stuff or start writing stuff and then trying to figure that out then. Course correcting is only necessary, afterwards. Like you don't want to do that as your number one choice. Like you want to try to do things like properly the first time. Yes. Also for product questions, that's also very important. Like think through it, be very structured. Don't be afraid to take time to think about things. It's totally fine to be like, I'm just thinking through this right now, or like give me a moment, anything like that. Yep. Math, probability questions, machine learning questions. With those ones, it really depends more on like what specific type of question, but the general idea still holds. Make sure you understand the question very thoroughly, communicate throughout all these different things. Yeah, you can kind of see a theme here. I hope that helps. I hope that was really helpful. Um, let's see. Duck meat. I'm really glad you like Strata Scratch. Oh, and thanks for using my referral. Appreciate it. Okay. Yeah, let me know, Burkus, or anybody else, if you have any more like specific questions about interview tips. Those are the things I can kind of come up with as general tips off the top of my head. Oh, Duckney, you followed a path of talk about the problem, how you solved it, the outcome of that. If I'm stuck in any question, I usually think of this process. Yes, that's great. Like that's perfect. Like your process doesn't necessarily have to be like exactly the same as mine or the same as duck meat. It's just that you need to have a process in which you talk through things and you think through things, and understand. Yeah, like just be very deliberate and never just start rambling and just talking about random stuff. Of course, like if that happens, it's better just to be like, I need a second, sit down, relax, take a deep breath, and then just like literally restructure your thoughts and then keep going on. Cool. Ooh, I skipped over some questions. Let me get through that. Ayush, how would you rate your calculus, linear algebra, and stat skills on a scale 1 to 10? That's actually a great question. Yeah, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. So, didn't take calculus or linear algebra. Like, just didn't take it. Stats I've taken like a couple intro classes. So calculus, linear algebra, well, from one being like, what is a derivative for calculus and like what's a matrix, and 10 being like, let me just, like let me just like take this problem and prove everything using linear algebra and calculus. I would probably be at like 5, 5, 6, I would say. Like I can follow through what's happening. Like if someone is like doing stuff, I'm be like, oh, okay, like that makes sense. But if you tell me to do it myself, I'm just like, I don't remember how to do like derivatives, where such like I never exactly learned like how to do things like that. So I can follow through logically what's happening. But if you tell me to go do it myself, I will have some trouble with that. Yeah. 5, 6, I would say. And in terms of stats, I would rate myself a little bit higher on that, maybe like a 7, 8, maybe. Still like not super. I didn't have like so much formal education on it. I had more than calculus and linear algebra, but not like advanced statistics. I just happened to have done more of that myself. Because it was necessary for the job that I currently have. So before I interviewed, I had to go and learn more things about statistics so I can pass the interview. And I do use it more in my day to day. And I don't use calculus or linear algebra at all in my day to day. Yeah, so stats I'm a little bit more comfortable with. Not comfortable enough to go and like prove anything or like, go through a bunch of these things. So yeah. And the thing is like with these subjects, at one point, they all kind of converge together, right? They're all used for something. So I'm really, really, I want to say jealous. I wish that I took these classes when I had the chance, because I realize how valuable they are when truly like understanding things. But I also feel like it's not necessary to do so to actually do a good job or be a good data scientist at all. Like it is not necessary to be excellent at these mathematical subjects. But me personally, I wish that I did take them because I think I just like understanding things at a deeper level if I can. That was a very rambly answer to your question, but I hope that was helpful. Um, Regini, you're a second year student. Cool. XYZ ABC, did you receive any scholarships for your master's program? No, I did not. They don't have any scholarships. They had like a few what is it called? Actually, no, I lied. It's not they don't have any scholarships, it's that they didn't have any scholarships for people who weren't American. And I'm not American, so there was nothing available that I could even apply to. Yep. Regini, you're confused about masters or engineering? I'm not sure I understand that question. Doing a master's degree versus engineering? Yeah, I think you might have a typo there. And why is DS algo necessary for data science? Uh, what do you mean by DS algo? I'm not actually, I don't really understand what that means. Um, Algorithms are in general, yeah, could you clarify that question? Um, yeah. So let's see, some more questions. Mm, how much stats do I need to know, Koshik? Um, I think if you had to choose between linear algebra, uh, calculus, and statistics, go with stats if that's what you would do. Like you would use stats a lot more. It's a lot more applicable than the other subjects. That's a hard question as well. Like, how much do you need to do a data science job? A few, I think the equivalent of like intro classes, like know what central limit theorem is, know like hypothesis testing, how to use it, t-test, what else? Z-tests, ANOVAs, a lot of hypothesis testing stuff. So very much like experimental based information is very, very necessary and useful. And with other stuff, like in terms of other like statistics, like distributions, yeah, know your distributions very, very well as well. So you should be able to cover all that is necessary in like one or two proper statistics classes. And anything more advanced is nice to have, but it's not necessary. Yeah, I can't think of anything else except for that. Oh, and Bayesian statistics, like do know like Bayes stuff. That's very, very important as well. But that should cover most of everything. Let's see. Pranjal, how do you remember all the algorithms and data structures? For me, I know algos and data structures because I interviewed for software engineering and I also have did like CS masters. So I know that just from doing those classes and then also from like the interview questions that I had. How do I remember them? I feel like it's like kind of learning to ride a bike in a way. Like once you know what they are, it's kind of it might be like a little rusty, but learning like refreshing your memory a second time is a lot easier than learning it the first time. So if I want to use like a dictionary or like a hash table in Java or something, and I like forget how it works, for example, I just like look it up and like, oh yeah, like I remember this from before. Where like sorting algorithms, like they were at one point I knew them, so when I look that up again, it's not that difficult. So if I ever had to use them, yeah, I would just look it up. I don't like remember everything in my head. Um, Mitali, hey Tina, was there ever a technical interview that you really enjoyed? What was it about? Ooh, there have been quite a few technical interviews that I enjoyed. For software engineering, I've had like some pretty enjoyable but also very stressful technical interviews because the questions they ask me sometimes, you know how like sometimes there's like very generic lead code questions. It's just like, oh, like reverse a linked list where like, do something something like that. Like you have a tree, like how do you recursively like do XYZ? And it's just like, oh, like, it's pretty generic, but then sometimes like they throw you a question where you have to like think a little bit more. It's like I can't think of anything at the top of my head. I know, okay, I don't remember okay, I thought of something, but I don't remember the exact question for it, but it was a recursive tree of some sort, but it was like a slight variation of what people usually do. Sorry, I don't remember exactly what it was. But yeah, I like things that are a little bit challenging in terms of like problem solving based as opposed to knowledge based. Um, in terms of data science interview, I mean, I've only had one data science interview, which is this one, the one that I'm working at right now. So I can't say I've been to like data science interviews. The one that I had was pretty enjoyable. It was SQL interview. Um, it was also like more problem solving based. Like there wasn't anything fancy at all. Like there wasn't even like a window function or anything in SQL. It was just more like this is the problem you're trying to solve and figure out a way of solving it. So it was more like critical thinking based. Yep. Pranjal, how you choose which algorithm fits best to the problem. Oh, that really is a function of the problem, like the business problem or whatever that you're trying to solve, and then matching it to the algorithm. So it does require understanding of both. So yeah, like generally it's very hard to say because each algorithm or data structure or whatever, they have like certain pros and cons, and knowing those pros and cons will allow you to apply the ones that's most useful. In general, like for interview questions, whenever they ask you something that requires a data structure, the most optimal solution is probably a hash table or a dictionary. So that's also like a rule of thumb. Allison, I know SQL is important for DA/DS interviews. Sorry, DS jobs. I am wondering how to have some meaning SQL experience. Since studying by myself without any experience is not that helpful to find a job/intern. Okay, let's unpack this. So SQL is important, yes, for sure, for data analytics and data science jobs. I want to first emphasize the fact that you don't need to go and have SQL experience in order to go land an interview and get the job. And I speak that from experience because I didn't. I learned SQL just for my interview, and then after that, ever since I've just started using SQL for my job. With that being said, though, if you do want to have some experience in it, I would recommend building some sort of like app of some sort, in which a large portion of that will be using SQL database. So you have some sort of data, put it into a database, do some manipulations using that, and then just in terms of the front end stuff, just if you don't want to focus so much on that, you can just display it on a web page or something. Or you can not even display it on the web page. You can just like have a data set and then put that into the database and then manipulate using SQL there. And that should give you very good experience, like also very realistic experience of using SQL. XYZ, ABC. Why do you move to US for master's instead of staying in Canada, probably going to Waterloo? The reason why to move to the US is because I don't have an undergraduate in computer science. So the UPenn program was one of the best ones that offered the option of doing a master's in CS when you don't have an undergraduate in it. I, to my knowledge, Waterloo doesn't have such a program. UFT doesn't either. So that's why I moved. Shreyansh, do I need to prepare DS and Algo for data science role? You will need to prepare DS because it's a data science role. For algorithms, it depends on the role. You should check to see what it is that you want to apply for. Whenever people apply for data science, the advice that I give is that don't treat data science like software engineering. Software engineering, if you just go do a bunch of leak codes, that pretty much covers whatever any interview is going to ask you. But data science is not like that. It's much, much more varied. In data science, probably the only core skill set that they will test you for every single position is SQL. And except for that, it can be very, very like varying. Probably they'll also ask you some probability statistics questions. Probably they might ask you some machine learning based questions. They might ask you some algorithm questions. And if you're doing a product role, they might ask you product or business sense questions. There's just so much variety in terms of what they're going to ask. So it's very important to really, before you start studying for a bunch of different things, I recommend that you go and gather some data science positions that you would like to apply for and look at their requirements, because whatever is on their requirement is probably what they're going to ask you about. So if it says algorithms and they're going to ask you algorithm questions, and that you should probably go and study algorithms. And go from there. Don't assume anything, and also don't be like, I'm just gonna learn every single thing that they can possibly ask me, because unless you have a lot of experience, that is going to be a very difficult approach. It would also take you much longer because the breadth of data science is so huge, right? Like the amount of time it would take to actually go learn every single thing they can possibly ask you is just so long and probably not worth it. I hope that helps. Um, yep. Imran, can you please help me? I have a project regarding data science for an expo. I have no prior experience in data science and the project is due. I don't think I can help you with the project itself, but I could say that you can post it on the Discord group, and just see if anybody wants to help you with that or join you and just have more specifics about what it is that you're trying to do. Beaumont sweatshirt. That motivates us so much because of the stress sweatshirt. It's actually one of my favorite sweatshirts. It's very nice material. So should I just be like, if you do data science and you pass the interview, you can also get a Balmain sweatshirt like this one. Is that motivating? Wilson Man, binary search trees. You don't like binary search trees? I think binary search trees are okay. Why do you not like binary search trees? How have they offended you? Um, let's see. What other questions do y'all have? Oh, Pransha, you mean data structures. I was like data science. It's very rare in data science interviews to do data structures. Very, very rare. From my knowledge, I haven't seen or met anyone that had to do data structures before. But again, do your own research and look at the roles first. Duck meat. Mitali. Do you want Mitali to talk about a time they were challenged or met failure or me? I feel like I have had if you watch my videos about my master's in computer science, my interview experience, more stuff, I do touch on that topic a lot. I'm very open about my failures because I feel like that's really the only way that we can really move forward and improve ourselves. But yeah, if you ever want me to talk about my failures at my job, oh my god, I have so many failures. um, let's see. Wilson Man. Step 1, don't study. Step 2, step 3, profit. What? I am afraid. I feel like that's referring to a meme that I'm forgetting right now. Rockstar, my exams are near, I don't feel like studying. Please give tips. What if you just watch some of my other study with me videos and you can look at how diligent I am? I'm kidding. How diligent that I sometimes am and feel motivated. Or you can think about if you don't study, then you can't get this Belmont sweatshirt. Is that helpful? Go study. Go study. XYZ, ABC, were you able to get a permanent resident in Canada? I am a Canadian citizen. Yep. Patrick, you're a newbie from Discord. Thanks for joining. How do you ever deal with time series stuff at work? And if so, how often? You can check out my Goldman Sachs video. I talk about the project I did before, which was completely time series based. Now I do deal with time series, but I don't really use modeling for time series very much anymore. How much can I say? I do like time series more in terms of pattern recognition, and in optimizing certain features or variables that the product requires. And yeah, I think that's as much as I can say. But yeah, do check out my Goldman Sachs video. I talk about time series there and into like much more detail about exactly how I used it and what I did. That was in finance, so I guess that also makes sense. In finance, time series is just like very important. Itali, do you think the companies will hire entry-level students with a bachelor for data science roles or a master's degree is more preferred? Generally, the more schooling that you have, they will like, it opens up more doors. With that being said, I have a lot of colleagues that only have a bachelor's degree, like only have a bachelor's degree, but they have a bachelor's degree and nothing higher, and they perfectly found data science jobs at a big tech company. So it's big tech companies hire data scientists even if you don't have a degree, higher level degree. Honestly, the only reason why I have a master's is because my undergraduate was so unrelated that I kind of needed to do a master's degree to even allow me to learn the basics in a decent amount of time. I could also have self-learned, but I was not disciplined enough to do that, so I got a master's instead. Uh, Zarius, you saw, yeah, my cats. I see you mentioned cats in your stream title. Do you have any cats? Oh no, you missed Beep Beep. He's literally sleeping like right behind you guys. He's sleeping on a chair. If you go through the stream, you will see that he's very disruptive when I'm trying to sleep. Not when I'm trying to sleep, when I'm trying to study. And then he sleeps when I'm not studying. That is his superpower of being able to figure that out. He was like in the mic, he was on my lap. Yeah, just scroll through the stream a little bit and you will see him running around. I also have another cat called Boop. She's upstairs because she doesn't like new places. Yeah. Justin Chang, what's my Myers-Briggs? You want to guess? I'll tell you my Myers-Briggs is when I leave in like 3 minutes. But I'll give you guys a chance. I actually posted what my Myers-Briggs is already anyway into the what is it called? In the community tab. I made a post about it. But if you guys haven't seen that, what do you think my Myers-Briggs is? Let's see. Is Python best for DS? Depends on what you're doing. It really depends on what you're doing. If you want to have an industry generic skill set, SQL number one, Python number two. But SQL plus Python is going to be your best friend. And if you're doing like machine learning, Python. Yeah. If you can also use R, but R is usually more on the research side. Krishat, how did I get into Penn MCIT? I applied. I did my GRE. I got my recommendations, and then yeah, that's how I got in. I feel like that question I might be misinterpreting that question. If you have any more specific things, I will do let me know. Justin Chang, you think I'm NT type? Yes, that's true. Yes. What about the other two? See if you can guess that. I am NT type. Wilson, man, my cats are also disruptive when I'm trying to sleep. That is true. My cats are disruptive when I'm trying to sleep too. They're just always disruptive. Except for the times when I want to hang out with them, then they're sleeping. Is what they're like. He's just like sleeping there right now. It's like, why can't you hang out now instead of when I was trying to study? Musk. Your cat sleeps when I want to cuddle her. She's the embodiment of aloof. Oh, oh, maybe she's just showing affection in her own way. That's what it is. I happen to have both of my cats are extremely affectionate. They just always want to cuddle, and it's like if you look at my cats, they just start purring. Like you don't even need to touch them. Just look at them. They're very needy for cats. Let's see. Metali INTJ or INTP. INTJA. X yes. XYZ ABC, you have gotten it right. ENTP. Yes. I am ENTP. I wish here's the thing. The type that I wish that I was. All right. So the one I hoped I was and pretended to be for a very long time was INTJ. I more like ENTJ really. The I and E don't really matter that much. It's the J. I wish I were an organized individual that can get my shit together. But unfortunately, I am not. Literally the most P person that you probably will ever meet. it's just like everything. I have like no idea what's happening. Like I'm very, I like think I'm pretty organized in my brain. Like when I consume information or when I talk about stuff, I feel like I'm quite organized in that. But in my surroundings, I am so disorganized. I'm trying very hard to fix that problem. Or like not really fix that problem, but find a way that works for me. you know? And I do like certain things to make sure that I don't forget and I actually do the things I want to do. Very strongly in accountability and making myself do things. But yeah, like calendars and stuff, like I have not been able to stick with a single calendar app. And like Notion, I kind of use it, but I just like yeah, no. um Justin Chang, NTP from the last 2 minutes watching this. Why? Is it, I mean, I did say. Um, XYZABC, I guess as a fellow ENTP, I see some similarities in our behaviors. Do you like to debate a lot as well? We should debate about something. It's one of my favorite things to do. Debate about things that don't actually matter. Um, Italian Calista, Notion is so good and Notion is so hard to use. Yep, there you see the discrepancy. Okay, I agree that Notion is very, very powerful if you're disciplined enough and organized enough to actually use it the way that it's intended. I tend to just like write random stuff on Notion, and then because it's very freeform, it just like literally is everywhere. I open up like one Notion tab for like every single thing, so it doesn't really work that well for me. Like I find what works better for me is like very specific things. Like I can't allow myself to free form write stuff because then I will just like not be able to organize it. It's like for me, it's like I the only things I use, like I will use a notebook and one colored pen because if I try to write stuff down with different colored pens, then I'm gonna mess up all the colors and it's not gonna work. And then if I try to use like fancy apps to take notes, it would just like end up super disorganized and not make any sense. Yeah, and then like my timer is also very simple. Like only thing it does is beep when it's at the correct time. That's it. Yeah, and I just use like very simple lists. Like these are the things that I have to do, and that's it. I just look at my list, and if I use anything more fancy, then I'm gonna forget or get stressed out. I also get really stressed out in general. If I have to use a bunch of like, if there's like too many things that I can do, I just get stressed out because I'm too disorganized to figure out how to use it properly. Yep. um. Oh, I want to chat more. Let's do it. I want to chat. Let's chat for a bit more. Let's see. Yep, Musk. Two types of people. Notion is so hard. Yeah, Kalisa, you're much more organized. Are you a J? And then there's Kalista, who is like me. It's just like, what? Zubar, an opinion about country Palestine, Pakistan. I do not have an opinion about Pakistan, truthfully. Yeah. Um, okay, are we back to doing data science? Nope, we're still talking about Notion. John Wick, Notepad enters chat. I actually use Notepad quite a lot, like in this Notepad and also a Notepad on the computer. I just like write stuff down like as simple as possible. Like the more complex things are, it just does not work for me at all. Um, Kalisa, how do y'all learn to use Notion? Yeah, hopefully someone else can give you some tips on how to use Notion. Vitali, Thomas Frank videos got me started on Notion. There's templates. I tried watching videos. Okay, yeah. I mean, maybe I'll give Notion another try. Kalista, if you want to join me in a Notion journey in which we try to start using Notion properly, I'm down for that. I do like when there's like projects that I do that are managed on Notion and I can deal with that. But I guess maybe I just haven't learned how to use Notion properly as well. That might also be the case. So maybe I just need a little bit of patience. Um, yeah, Kalista, You should let me know how that goes for you. And also Mitali, I will also watch some Thomas Frank videos and try to like start using Notion because I think if I actually manage to do that, it might help me organize the chaos of my life better. Okay. All right. I am gonna bounce in like 2 minutes. Um, okay, let me answer like one more question. No, yes. What do you recommend practicing SQL interview questions similar to a legal kind of style? I think someone did someone answer that already? I remember seeing it, but I really recommend Strata Scratch. Full disclosure, I have a link in my descriptions. It's an affiliate link, where they give me a percentage of it. But I really do think that Strata Scratch is that I know of, like the best that's out there to practice interview questions. I think it's a lot better than lead code because lead code, the questions are not very realistic in terms of what you'll see in the interview itself. Yeah, but Strata Scratch questions are all real interview questions. I also know the guy who made it. And we've talked about this. Like he sources the questions from these interviews. Like I think he does like tech interviews from the tech industry mostly, but there's also stuff from like health tech and like things like that as well. So they're very, very representative. Yep. All right. I am gonna bounce now. Thank you so much for everybody that joined. Yeah, it was really, really fun chatting with all of you. And I will see you guys on Monday for another live stream. See you guys.